What's up, guys? Cold this morning, and man, on my way home last night, I'm like, yeah, I need to get some gas in the Jeep. But there's a gas station right up the road from my house, and I was cruising by there, and gas was like 3.05. I'm like, yeah, I didn't feel like getting it last night. I'm like, I'll get it in the morning. 3.25. Man, that shit went up 20 cents overnight. Like, my God. But anyway, enough ranting about the gas prices. I mean, I'm pretty poor. Although, I did get monetized on here in the YouTube partnership. It's just, God, you would not believe how little they pay. I ain't even got paid yet. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject, guys. I'm about to give up on these Facebook groups for real. I was on there and, somebody asked about tar amps. And, this one guy, he just gave like the most terrible information in the world. And he followed it up by, I've never actually owned one, but this is what I've heard. Going over to fire and everything. Which, here recently, people have been chilling out on tar amps because them smart amps, they've been killing the game. And I've been recommending to a lot of, people new to this hobby to check them out, really, because they put out insane power in that 4 ohm range, which when you're actually like demoing and playing music, your ohms are all over the place. So this guy's like, the positive and negative are reversed. I mean, they might be on different sides from your typical Korean, but Chinese amps do that all. Some, not all, some. But hell, they're marked, man. I mean, who's just going to try to cram like a wire and an amplifier without actually looking down and being like, okay, that's the plus on this side. I mean, my God, come on, dude, for real. And then, you get the old, he said, and I've never heard this one, you can't turn the amp on without a load on it, so speakers have to be hooked up. My God, dude, for real. I mean, I set my gains, I never even hooked my speakers up to mine until my gains are all the way set. And I unhooked my speakers to set my gains, I do that right at home in the driveway. I don't want to make my neighbors mad. And then he said the protection circuitry in them isn't good. I mean, I wired mine down to 3.3. Certain songs, you get that impedance that they protect. I think I heat protected them once, too. Actually, probably a couple times, like demoing in the summer at a show, like all day long. I've heat protected them before. So I don't know what this, I mean, that's just the information that people are giving, and this dude was swearing by it, I mean, he stuck to his guns and he swore he knew what he was talking about. Then he brought up the old magic smoke, fire, burn the car down, which there's a lot of amps been like blowing and catching on fire here recently, and the majority of them aren't tar amps, so we're just going to leave that one alone. But, yeah, I read a post from Drew Jones yesterday. A lot of you guys know Drew. Some of y'all think that dude's a dick. I've met him in person a few times, and he's not a bad dude, man. He's just kind of tired of it, especially in like bass heads on a budget. There are so many people in there that they have no clue. What they don't know would fill a warehouse, we'll put it that way. But they swear that they know. And when you get guys in there that actually know what they're talking about and they give solid advice, you got 20 guys to that one telling him he don't know what the hell he's talking about. And these 20 guys, they had no, I mean, they're spitting off stuff that, they heard from their cousin's neighbor's mom or whatever. I don't know. Kind of like, oh, if you want to play low, you got to have 15s or 18s. If you want rock music, you need them 10s. Shit like that. Stuff that was like myth back in the 90s, and we all thought it to be true, but now we know it's different. And it's getting to the point where I don't even like giving advice in these groups anymore. Like, for instance, a kid in one of these groups, he posted a picture. He had 2 amps and he had 4 subs. Or 2 subs. But what he was wanting to do is take 1 coil from each sub and put on this amp. The remaining coil on each sub and put on this amp. He had a little diagram drawn out, and he did get 1 speaker wire on the diagram wrong, but hell, everybody knew what he meant. And there was like 95% of the people in this group told him it wouldn't work and it'd be impossible to get the gains matched properly, and he's going to burn the subs up, and that the amps are going to catch on fire, and just so many people that don't know. I mean, when I had tar amps in here, I actually tried that one time and got the best SPO numbers that I had ever done in here. And I believe it was wired that way until I actually like took everything out. Well, that's back when I was running 2 amps only. But I kept it like that until I swapped over to 4 amps. So, yeah, it works. I mean, it's fine. It ain't something I came up with. I learned that shit from watching Bear Vids on here, you know. That Sam dude over in the UK. I saw it and I'm like, okay. Because really it's an optimal way to do it, because all subs will be playing evenly. You know, when you wire like 2 subs this amp, 2 subs that amp, if the gains are a little wrong, one set's going to be moving a little better. You know, the pressure and the enclosure and everything will kind of affect the other 2. So, one coil to each amp. I mean, 1 coil might be getting just a wee little bit less power, but they're all going to move in unison. So, yeah, there's benefits to doing it that way, but so many people in these groups are just like, they basically called the kid an idiot for even asking the question. So, yeah, a lot of people are giving up. Like Drew Jones kind of did a post yesterday. He's like, I give up, because when people do know what they're talking about, the real knowledgeable people come in and they answer the question. You know, you got everybody else in the group telling them they're an idiot and they don't know what they're talking about. So, I see that. And that I do have a question. One guy on, like, you know, comments down below here, he asked a good question. 2 alternators on 1 battery. How do you do it? You just hook both alternators up like you would hook up just one. So you can wire off your wires for the second plug. And then the stud on the back, you know, you can run your 1-aught cable from that stud up to your battery box under the hood or whatever you have, just like the other alternator. And the alternator will ground to your bracket, and now you got 2 alternators working. They don't fight each other, you know. It's basically like, in layman's terms, when you add a second alternator, it would be the equivalent of just adding 1 ginormous alternator. But because all you're doing is upping your amperage, you do get the added benefit of more efficiency. Because if you've been to shows, you'll see a lot of people, they have fans like pointed down on their alternators to try to keep them cool. Just like anything else, when an alternator gets hot, it puts out less power. The cooler it is, the better it performs. So having 2 alternators takes some of that workload off of 1. So in essence, they'll both run a little cooler. So therefore you raise up your efficiency. But yeah, it's just adding the seconds, just like adding 1. I mean, you wire it the same. All you got to do is wire off your wiring to the plug and, you know, hook up your battery cable and you're good to go. I've run a Fat Boy regulator in here for now. I got a Brand X put in, but I haven't done it. The cool thing about the Fat Boy is it's got toggle switches on it, so I can turn like both alternators off or turn one off. And I normally keep my biggest alternator off unless I'm like going to be part giving demos. When I do my morning video, stuff like that, I just run 1 alternator. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. The people that subscribe, thank you. Don't pay no damn attention in these groups, man. You need to find you somebody that kind of knows things. Like, I don't know everything, man. I be calling people all the time asking stuff. But find someone that'll talk to you and kind of stick with that person, you know, because any good base head with knowledge, if they don't know something, they're not going to give you an answer. And it's just kind of the way it is. But a lot of us, dude, we know a lot, but there's still a lot we don't know, and we're still learning every day just like you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Peace out, guys. And as always, stay warm today and base on.